Okay, B'siyata Dishmaya, we're here in Sha'ar HaYichud, Tzfat, Ira Kodesh, the best house in the world, Baruch Hashem. Sorry for the noise, guys, just the land of Israel is being built up and we're getting ready for the Mashiach coming, so we're doing some renovations here, not us, our neighbors, but once I was in yeshiva, and our Rosh Yeshiva heard they were doing construction in the building next to us. All of our windows, the windows of the yeshiva, of the Beit Midrash, were right next to this building that they were doing construction, tractors, drilling, pumping, everything. And people complained about the noise. And our Rosh Yeshiva walked inside the Beit Midrash, and he smacked on the stender, and he was the most calm, sweetest, most like an old grandfather. It was not like a strong, He smacked on the bima and he said, I heard people are complaining about the building of Jerusalem and the coming redemption. And he walked out. So we have to know, if we have noises like this in the land of Israel, if you have a baby crying, if you have anything going on, that is redemption. That is the process. Don't complain about noises. That is literally the building of houses in Israel. It's a good thing. Baruch Hashem. Today we're going to continue in our learning on Koach HaMachshava, the power of the mind, from the Shem Tov. And we're going to push through today and finish this chapter actually. And B'ezrat Hashem, the next chapter we're going to get into is Itchadshut V'Italut Tmidit. Renewal and constant progression, constant ascension. For now, let's keep focusing on Koach HaMachshava, the power of the mind. We have a teaching from Kotoret Pasim and Parashat Tazriya. Kibalti mimori. I received from my Rebbe, Sheyesh Leda, Im Hu Mekushar Ba'olam HaChaim, O Le'ipuch Ba'olam HaMitah. A person needs to know, am I right now connected to the world of life, or am I connected to the world of death, God forbid? If your soul has an inner desire to speak gossip, to say bad things about people, to do anything else that is not conducive, mockery, foolish, jokes that hurt other people, all these other things, you should know right now you're connected to death. Connected to death. If you're desiring to do bad things, you need to know right now your soul is connected to a bad place. If you have a desire for Torah and Maasim Tovim and to do the right thing, then you should know in your soul that you are connected to the world of life. This is a beautiful teaching from the Baal Shem Tov that is extremely important to understand. You want to know where you're rooted right now? How do you feel? Stop for a second, what do you feel like doing? You want to go sleep? You want to bum around? You want to watch nonsense? You might be connected to a bad place. You want to hurt another person, speak bad about another person. You want to do good things. You want to go for a walk. You want to work out. You want to learn Torah. You want to be healthy. You want to eat a good meal. You're connected to life. That's it. What's going on inside? Feel. A lot of times we have too much noise and we can't even stop to feel. But we have to feel. What's going on? Another teaching from the will of the Baal Shem Tov, Tzvat HaRivash. When you're in katnut, meaning you're in constricted mindset and everything's cloudy and you don't have clarity, you still have to be in Dveikut with the Shekhinah, you still have to be connected to Hashem. Immediately after that, you're having a hard day, you're struggling, but in your mind you're still connected to what matters and what makes sense, and Hashem Yitbarach, and you keep thinking about the upper world, immediately in a second, you're there. All of a sudden, you're right back there. Like we know from Baal Shem Tov, whatever a person thinks, that's where you are physically, that's where you are mentally, spiritually. Your whole entire being is where your head is. If you weren't in a upper world, you wouldn't even be thinking at all. Another one here, teaching from Leket Imrei Peninim, from Parashat Noach. Shamati meforash mipi mori b'makom shechoshev Adam sham hu kulo. Wherever a person thinks, that's completely where that person is. Im choshev b'kedusha b'mitzvot Hashem yitbarach b'yichudo b'shmotav. If a person thinks about the reality of Hashem and His unity and His names, diokna shelo shalim kame'atik yomin. Your image is complete and you're standing, so to say, in front of Hashem. Kishamu kulo, because that's where you are completely. So too, a person who thinks horrible thoughts, bad thoughts, Omed mamash begenom, he's standing in Gehenom. He's mamash in Gehenom. Ve'esh Gehenom mamash boer bo, the fire of Gehenom is really in fire, is lit up inside of him. Vu bechayav b'shol tachtit. In his lifetime, he's in the depths of hell. Mikol mekom, mikol sheken, achar moto. Even more so after he dies. If in this world you already have such noise in your mind and such problems, you're in living hell in your own life in this world, and you can't purify your mind, you don't understand enough that you have to purify your mind and rethink, then where are you going to be after you pass away? If that's where you left yourself hang out your whole entire life in this world, where it's going to be after you pass. וצדיקים ישמחו בשמחה אותיות, מחשבה יאלצו לפני אלוהים. The tzadikim, what are they happy with? אותיות מחשבה. The signs, the letters of the mind. מחשבה יאלצו לפני אלוהים. These מחשבות, that's what's going to bring them to a better place in front of Hashem. Think good. Think good, it'll be good, like the Baal Shem Tov says. Now they're teaching Shoshanim LeDavid on Tehillim Lamed Bet and Tehillim 32 in the 10th verse. Ruach Apenu Rabbeinu Baal Shem Tov Piresh. The Baal Shem Tov explained, שבכל מקום שאדם חושב, שם הוא מדבק. Wherever you think, that's where you're attached to. אם מחשב בדין, הוא מדבק בדין. You think about judgments, you're attached to the judgments. וכשהוא בוטח בחסד, שם ידבק נשמתו והחסד יסובבנו. When you think about chesed, your soul attaches itself to chesed, and chesed surrounds you. ותמיד יטמין עצמו, כולו בבורא יתברך. A person should always hide himself and surround himself inside Hashem, blessed be He. Like it says, pachad pachadeti ve'etayeni. Like it says also, umigorotam avi lahem. Always want to be, if you think fear, there's going to be reasons to have fear. You think happiness, you think joy, you think connection, you're going to have more reasons for that. Have to purify the mind. This is a good class in brainwash. Come to Sha'ar HaYichud, get brainwashed, guys. Bazohar, we have another teaching here. Baruch Hashem from the Zohar Kadosh. This is from Ben Porat Yosef in Parashat Vayetze. Bazohar Kadosh, it says in the Zohar, Binyan Elisha. Elisha, right? He was the main student of Eliyahu Navi. What does it say about Elisha? Dela avar zuva befatore. That he never had a fly come on his table, on his bread, and no flies were landing on his food. What does the Baal Shem Tov have to say? This on the explanation of Shas. Shmonim talmidim hayu lehillel ad ofa porech nisraf behevel piv. Right? The Gemara in Sukkah explains that Hillel, which is a giant tzaddik back in the day, had 80 students. And list, the biggest of them, the smallest one of them was Yonatan ben Uziel. You know who that is? Yanuka. Been to Yanuka? Yonatan ben Uziel. It says that the kol of shaya poreach me'alav miyad haya nisraf. Any bird that would fly over his head while he was learning Torah, such holiness, the bird would be burnt. Rav Itzhak says, what does that mean? Kol ofan, any angel that's called an ofan, when it would pass over his airways, he was so holy that he elevated that angel from an ofan into a saraf, a higher level of an angel. He never got married, because he was, so to say, married to the Torah. And it was a big mistake, because the number one thing we have to do in life is get married. We need the Torah to help us get married, but we need to get married, because that's what it's the first thing in the Torah says to do, is to get married and have children. And he didn't do it from such kedusha, and he made a promise that whoever would come to his kever and pray to Hashem there, he would help them to get married and to have children. So it's a known thing. People come here to Tzfat, they go to Yanuka because they want to get married. So he was the smallest of the students of Hillel, and any bird that would fly over his head would get burnt from the holiness of his Torah learning, and he was the smallest. So how do we understand this connected to what we said before about Elisha that there was never a fly on his table. Fly, by the way, is the word of in Hebrew. Bird, fly, to fly, it's all the same word. בעניין לפי מחשבתו של אדם, כך יש עולמות למעלה ממנו עומדים עליו. According to where your thoughts are, so too there's worlds and worlds and worlds stacked above your head that are just standing on top of you. אם מחשבתו בקדושה ורוחני, if your mind is in a place of holiness and spirituality, כך הם העולמות שלמעלה ממנו, so too the worlds that are standing above your head. ואם מחשבתו בטומאה, if your mind is in טומאה, גם העולמות, so too is the worlds that are there. וכפי המחשבה והעולמות, כך עוברים לפניו בגשמי עופות טהורים וטמאים. According to your thoughts, determines which animals come in front of you. If you have a dove fly across you, like at the kotel, so you have pure thoughts, pure birds. If you have a fly, it's not such pure thoughts, not such pure animal flying across you. You can't be so crazy about this because sometimes you're in a place that has a lot of flies. It's not nearly about but when you're eating in your house, it's not natural to have a fly in your house. All of a sudden you see a lot of flies around you. It might be your thoughts. This is not just with flies and birds. Any kind of animal. When you have animals coming across from you, any type of animal, it's a sign. There's three aspects in this, of types of animals. There's what's called tehorim, pure animals, whatever we consider kosher according to the Torah. There's tmeim, impure animals, right? Things that are completely forbidden. And then there's what's called memutza, the median. I don't know what that would be. What would be a median animal? I don't know. And above that you have the world of intellect, of spirituality, that no mind could ever comprehend that. Any bird that would fly would get burnt. So why didn't Elisha have a fly on his table ever? Because he was holy. He was a prophet of Am Yisrael. He was a pure person. His mind was in Torah. His mind was in purity. So they never saw a fly on his table. What happens if we see flies on our table? We have to start to question our purity. See where we're connected to.
I heard that if you see flies on your table, it means your wife is upset with you.
What happens if you're single?
You still look for sure, right?
Somewhere she's upset at you that you're still single. Last one here on the chapter on koach hamachshava, the power of the mind. Eitzah Yehuda me'et talmidei Baal Shem Tov. This is from Agra de Kala. Agra de Kala is the Bnei Sascha. It's another name of his book. Tzvi Elimelech, who is the nephew of the Noam Elimelech. Zusha. Brothers, right? Zusha and Noam. This was their nephew. The Agra de Kala. So he says, Eitzah Yehuda me'et talmidei Baal Shem Tov. Here's a piece of advice, a strategy from the students of the Baal Shem Tov, which means clearly it came from him. Anything that happens to a person, any event that happens to a person, anything that's bothering a person, you have to find in it, where is the root of good? Meaning, look inside that event that happened to you. Find the good inside of there. Find inside of there that idea, that spark of good that's inside. Then the bad becomes a chair for the good, meaning a tool to reveal the good. The bad was only there to reveal the good, like the peel of the banana. I wanted the banana, but without that peel I would never be able to eat the banana. It would have been disgusting, it would have been nasty, it wouldn't have been pleasant to eat. So the peel, the klipa of the banana, is what helped me to get all of the good from the farm until my house. As soon as I open the banana and I can take the banana, I can throw the peel in the garbage, because its only purpose was ever to serve the good, right? So this is the Baal Shem Tov's idea on every single type of klipa you could ever imagine. Why is it there? To reveal the good. Once it serves its purpose, it's nullified and lost forever. That's why there's no hope and there's no point. You could think, if that's the case, look at the Shem Tov, we just learned this with Rav Itzhak. If that's the case, that even the person that doesn't learn Torah, he has a point and he has a purpose because he makes it so much better that we do learn Torah. So then maybe I should just be a person that doesn't learn Torah. I'll get a lot of points. I'll make all the people that learn Torah that much more special. I also count now. I'm listed by the Mishnah in those that learn Torah when I don't learn Torah. Because I now make it more bold, the actions of those that learn. No. As soon as it gets revealed what your purpose really was, that you didn't learn, and that just because you didn't learn, you made them better, that's it. Your purpose was served. Now you have nothing to keep you there, so you get lost for eternity. So you don't want to be on that side of the history. You don't want to be on, it doesn't matter that they're listed, right? 4 people that give tzedakah. He gives and he wants others to give. He gives, he doesn't want others to give. He doesn't give and he wants others to give, and he doesn't give and he doesn't want others to give. How does a person that doesn't give and doesn't want others to give counted on the list of people that give tzedakah? Only because of him we recognize everybody else that gave tzedakah and they become important. But what happens when we have that differentiation and we can see these people all gave and this one didn't want to give? That's it. He's lost forever. Lost forever. So we don't want to be part of that. Bad, being on the side of bad, whenever you think of that, that's the side of getting lost, the side of being erased from the world forever. Then God forbid he's pulled down to the fate of the haters of Israel, people that have no future in this world and the world to come. God forbid, we don't want to be part of that. So we want to have good thoughts. We want to purify our mind. And the practical advice here is, whenever something happens to you that you don't like, that doesn't sit well with you, that bothers you, whether it's an event, a conversation, a person, no matter what it is, go inside that place, find the nikudat tova, find the azamra, and like the Baal Shem Tov's great-grandson would say a few years later, once you find that good point, you look back on the original point that you looked at, it's no longer there. You elevated the person out of that bad point. You found the good point inside of him. You help him, as zamra, to sing songs to Hashem and to do tshuva and to elevate out of that thing. That's the point. Wherever your mind is, that's where you are. So if something happens to you and you're telling the story one way, maybe find the good and then tell the story that way. We have to, in our minds, tell the story again a lot and a lot and a lot. We have to do this, many things. This is something that came to me a few years ago, a year and a half ago. It's within the last, year and a half. So to retell the story. Something happened to you as a child. You told the same story for 30 years. Is that really what happened? Can you not now look back with your adult eyes, with your eyes that are connected to the Baal Shem Tov, connected to the Torah? Can you not look back now and understand why that thing had to happen exactly as it happened? For me, for example, one of my big things was, why would I never get a Jewish education? Why am I only now in my 20s and 30s getting into Torah and Tzfat? I wanted to grow up like this. I understand, because now I can look back and see what was the good in the fact that I didn't have Torah my whole life? That I had the world. I could connect with people. I could connect with anybody. Now I'm taking that into Torah. So was it a bad thing that I didn't have Jewish education my whole life? No, it was Givad. It was amazing. It was great. That's the story I choose to tell. So each one of us in our lives has certain things that happened in our past, that the story that we've been telling is actually what happened. No one's denying the facts of what actually took place in that event. But was that the story I have to live with? For sure something good happened in there too. Even if it was the biggest tragedy in the world, it couldn't come into this world without good. Because everything's good. You just have to seek it out and you have to find it. And when you find it and you amplify it and you put the importance and the emphasis and you tell the story according to the point of good that's inside that event, so then all the bad falls away. This is the secret of getting rid of traumas, of getting past certain things, to move forward, to keep going. A person has a bad date, they're not going to go on a bad date again. They're not going to go on a date again. One bad date. There's a lot of women, there's a lot of people go through different moods. Because of one bad thing, you're not going to do it again. That can mess up your life for the rest of your life. Right? Or you just say, no, it was good. Why did I go on that date? I had to learn about myself. I learned a little bit more. I processed a little bit more. I grew. So it was a good thing that happened to me. But I lost out on 200 shekel and I wasted my time and this and that. I could tell that story too for the rest of my life. Why? Why? Find the good, retell the stories, let loose, let go of all the stuff that's been holding you back. Start over. Start over. But a lot of times we can't even start over because we're stuck on what was. And we're not even looking at truly what was. We're looking at the most external, negative side of what was, and not the true good inside of it that kept it alive. That was the essence of what was. The truth, the inside that keeps it in this world. Is that Hashem?